1,000 years ago, the Islamic world stood at the heart of global civilization. From the Atlantic shores of Spain to the bustling cities of Central Asia, Muslim rulers, scholars, and merchants shaped a golden age of culture, trade, and knowledge. It was a time when Baghdad shone as the jewel of learning, Cordoba dazzled with libraries and palaces, and Cairo connected Africa with the wider world. This is the story of the Islamic world a millennium ago, told in just 10 minutes. In the year 1000, the Islamic world was vast, stretching across continents. While politically divided into rival dynasties, it remained united by a shared religion, language, and cultural identity. Arabic connected scholars from Spain to Persia, while Islamic law provided a framework that allowed people of different ethnicities and backgrounds to live under a common civilization. Cities like Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo, Cordoba, Nishapur, and Bukhara were centers of culture and commerce, each contributing to a thriving world. At the symbolic center stood the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. Though the caliph's political power was fading, Baghdad remained a dazzling hub of trade and knowledge. To the west, the Fatimid Caliphate, a powerful Shia dynasty, controlled North Africa and had established Cairo as their capital, where the great Al-Azhar Mosque became a leading institution of learning. In Spain, Al-Andalus, under the Umayyads of Cordoba, had grown into one of Europe's most advanced societies, boasting dazzling architecture, religious tolerance, and a library said to hold hundreds of thousands of books. Meanwhile, in Central Asia, new Turkish powers were rising, the Seljuks, who would soon reshape the political map of the Middle East. Economically, the Islamic world was a giant crossroads of global trade. Markets were filled with spices from India, silks from China, gold from Africa, and furs from the north. Merchants used letters of credit and banking systems that allowed safe trade over long distances, innovations far ahead of Europe at the time. The Indian Ocean Trade Network linked East Africa, Arabia, India, and Southeast Asia, while overland Silk Road caravans brought goods and knowledge into cities like Bukhara and Samarkand. This wealth helped fuel the cultural and intellectual flourishing of the age. Knowledge was the true treasure of this civilization. Baghdad's famous House of Wisdom gathered texts from Greek, Persian, and Indian traditions, translating them into Arabic, and preserving knowledge that would otherwise have been lost. Scholars pushed fields forward. In mathematics, Al-Khwarizmi developed algebra, a word we still use today. In medicine, Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, wrote the Canon of Medicine, a textbook studied in Europe for centuries. Astronomers built observatories and refined calendars. Philosophers such as Al-Farabi and Al-Ghazali debated the nature of reason, faith, and society. At a time when much of Europe struggled in the so-called Dark Ages, the Islamic world became a beacon of scholarship. Culturally, this was an era of beauty and creativity. Architecture flourished. The great Mosque of Cordoba, with its forest of arches, symbolized both grandeur and unity. In Cairo, Al-Azhar not only served as a mosque, but as a university that still exists today. Palaces, gardens, and markets reflected a society that valued both function and splendor. Artists and calligraphers filled manuscripts with elegant writing and geometric designs, avoiding images of people and religious art, but excelling in patterns that expressed harmony and order. Daily life bustled in bazaars where merchants haggled, Scholars debated in courtyards, and poets recited verses under the glow of lanterns. This was a cosmopolitan world where Muslims, Christians, and Jews often lived side by side, contributing to the richness of society. But the Islamic world was not without challenges. Rivalries weakened the unity of the Abbasids and Fatimids. Military shifts were underway as Turkish warriors gained influence, eventually establishing the Seljuk Empire. By the end of the 11th century, these internal tensions and external pressures would erupt into conflict, most famously with the arrival of the Crusaders in 1095. Yet even in times of struggle, the networks of trade, knowledge, and culture remained resilient. The legacy of the Islamic world 1,000 years ago is profound. It preserved and expanded the knowledge of ancient civilizations, laying the groundwork for Europe's Renaissance. It produced scientific, medical, and philosophical works that influenced both East and West. Its architecture, art, and literature still inspire awe today. And its cities, Baghdad, Cairo, Cordoba, Samarkand, became symbols of what human creativity can achieve when knowledge and culture are valued. From Cordoba's glittering libraries to Baghdad's house of wisdom, from Cairo's mosques to the trade routes that stretched across seas and deserts, the Islamic world a millennium ago was not just a region. It was the center of global civilization. And now you've seen the full picture in just 10 minutes. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe to How True for more history and knowledge explained fast.